One tweet, one bad joke led to him being arrested, criminalised, sacked from his job. He'd be forgiven for thinking there were more important things for Britain to worry about.
It's one of the Commonwealth's safety valves. Free speech.
The context is that you've been fined £800 for a crime.
So in the UK, apparently you're not allowed to make Nazi jokes. I thought that they had the same freedoms we have, but apparently not. And it makes you really appreciate what it means to live in America.
It was a joke, you c***s.
He's being sentenced for the crime of making a, pretty bad taste joke.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech.
And yet the CPS chose to take this all the way to the High Court, and that is an absolute disgrace and something that Parliament needs to be looking at.
Section 127 of the Communications Act is the first law of its kind. It simply criminalised so-called grossly offensive speech, not calls to violence, as those were already illegal due to other legislation. Additionally, this law can only be applied to online speech. No equal exists for offline speech, not least because this would be impossible to enforce. It's not difficult for liberals to see why this is going to cause an issue. Who defines what is and isn't grossly offensive? More importantly, how is anyone justified in censoring speech for simple offence? Boko Haram think even stating there's a biological aspect to sex is offensive enough to label it hate speech. Ageing magistrate judges throughout the UK are suddenly expected to determine which new cultural divide is worthy of legitimate debate and which ones are forbidden to discuss. Section 127's origins were to stop people harassing others by telephone, being called up in the middle of the night and being sworn at, or to have heavy breathing down the telephone. But in 2003, Tony Blair's government updated the legislation to apply to the internet, and every MP in the opposition voted against it. This was during the frenzy lawmaking period in which more than 7 offences a day were being passed into law. Section 127 has made the country once known as the bastion of freedom of expression somewhat an international laughingstock, and domestically has caused a chilling effect with the arrest of comedians, activists, and one day MPs. The most blatant cases being a British Muslim who was prosecuted for saying British soldiers who go and fight in Iraq should die and go to hell, and an Irish pastor who described Islam as satanic. The most pathetic being a comedian who taught his dog to do a Nazi salute for an online video. After the Nazi pug fast, there were 2 protests and a petition was signed with 35,000 signatures to abolish such laws. There was also a letter-writing campaign to MPs from their constituents. Overwhelmingly, Conservative MPs were the only MPs who stood for freedom of speech which they did not approve. And in the 2019 Conservative manifesto, the party made a pledge to defend freedom of speech. With the staggering majority the party has been loaned by the people, now may be the only time to right the wrongs of the likes of Tony Blair. So if I've done my job, below should be a list of the still sitting Conservative MPs who voted against the 2003 Communication Act. If any of you decide to get in contact with them or any other MPs about this issue, can you email me with their response at the email link below? I don't think we have a better chance of getting this adopted by the government and finally abolished than now, so emailing them would be really appreciated, and thank you for watching.